so long. I am so sorry. I am 38 weeks and I'm still pregnant. I am so shocked. My midwife is so shocked. Everybody is amazed that I am still pregnant. And I am so glad, but at the same time, I'm so done. From the beginning, well, not from the beginning, but from like 30 weeks, I'd been expecting to have, like a 35-week baby, maybe even earlier, and nope, he's sticking around till full term, I guess. Well, I'm gonna give you guys a lot of updates in this video because I owe it to you. I am so sorry, and thank you for all those who stuck around and asking how I'm doing and if the baby's okay and if he's born yet. So my biggest life update, and you're gonna see me looking at my phone a lot because I have so much to update on. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. So my biggest life update is I actually got married, and we decided that we wanted to get married on our anniversary, which was June 1st. So we just decided to have a small little ceremony. We aren't big, elaborate people. We really just wanted something small. We wanted something with just our close friends because we both have bigger families and we didn't want our whole families there because then it would be a big wedding. Back onto the baby subject. I'm going to talk about my symptoms, my main symptoms these past several weeks. They've all kind of been the same. Most of these have actually popped up this last week. The ones that have been kind of continuous, I have terrible, terrible heartburn. I can't sleep at night. I live off Rolaids and these like Equate Walmart brand Tums. I have to take them like 100 times a night. I like wake up in the middle of the night, heartburn, pop another one, it's terrible. But that's been like my worst pregnancy symptom ever, or pretty much whole pregnancy. Other than that, this last week, what's really popped up and that I hadn't had before, a lot of ligament pains, and I haven't had those like my entire pregnancy. I've had little bits of it, but nothing like this. But it'll hurt. It'll be a shooting pain like right up here, and it's not contractions. Just it's like shooting and stretching pains. I have been getting a lot of skin tags like on my neck. It's really gross, and I'm pretty sure they won't go away. I'll probably have to get them cut off. It's really gross. I thought they were moles when I was feeling them, and then I asked Zach, and he's like, no, those are like skin tags. My legs have been popping out of place. It's so gross. I'll be walking, and like my hip or my leg will just like pop out of place, and I'll have to like stop and like kind of readjust, and I hate it. It's gross, and it's normal because your ligaments are relaxing to make room for the baby, in your pelvis, but it's so uncomfortable. And with that, I've been waddling. I have to waddle or it'll happen with every step. It's terrible. And I've been having a lot of contractions. My dog. A lot of contractions. They're continuously 5 minutes apart, but they aren't painful. As we speak, I am having a contraction, but it's not painful. It's just tightening, and it's not Braxton Hicks because it's every 5 minutes. It's real contractions. It's just basically predominant labor. It's false labor. Every time I have gone to the hospital for various reasons, they're like, oh my gosh, you might be in labor. You're contracting so much and there's such big contractions. And I'm like, no, I'm probably not in labor. I'm not in any pain. I have been losing my mucus plug. This has been going on about the last 2 weeks. It's not my bloody show. It's just yellow, really thick discharge. He's still moving like crazy at the moment. I did have a little scare I'll talk about here in a minute. But total weight gain. And yeah, I fold my fiance's clothes, but I don't put my husband, I'm still getting used to that, it's so weird. I fold his clothes for him, and he gets to put them away, but he never does. So that's what that is. It's me going on strike and not putting his stuff away. Anyways, weight gain. As of 36 and 37 weeks, I had gained 33 pounds. I didn't gain or lose any. And, or no, those 35 and 36 weeks. And then 37 weeks, my 37-week appointment, I had actually lost a little bit of weight. So now I've gained 29 pounds since pre-pregnancy, which she wanted me to gain 15 to 20 pounds my entire pregnancy. I am off bed rest as of 35 weeks. End of 35 weeks, I am off bed rest. So I've been off bed rest for a couple weeks now. With that, I'd had the increased contractions. Nothing that's put me in labor yet, unfortunately. But I am still out of work. I'm still not working. My midwife did give me the option if I wanted to go back or if I didn't, and I kind of asked her, I was like, well, what do you think? And she said that if I go back to work, I will be having a baby in a couple days because of the way my job is. And I decided that I would rather not have a 35-week baby if I could prevent it. She completely agreed. She knows that, you know, money situations, she wanted to make sure that I did have the option. But, and I mean, we are struggling with money a lot, but, you know, in the end, his health is way more important than any amount of money. As long as, you know, we have a roof over our head, we have food, and, you know, that's kind of what it came down to in making that decision. I'm still, you know, I go on walks with my friends. I, you know, do various little things here and there to get out of the house now. But, you know, sitting at an office chair all day is what almost caused him to come at 30 weeks. And he would have come early if I would have continued working. 34 weeks, I had a ultrasound to determine his weight. And I don't think that I updated since then. So 34 weeks, I had a growth scan, and he was measuring pretty good, pretty right on. He was measuring with a due date of July 4th, which my due date's July 1st. So a couple days behind, when in the beginning he was like a week ahead. So he's definitely been catching up to the norm for him. He was weighing in at 5 pounds, 5 ounces, which was great. They estimated him to be about 7.5, 8 pounds at birth if he makes it to 39, 40 weeks. At my 35-week appointment, I was checked visually as she did my Group B strep. Oh, this is a long video. I'm sorry, guys. And I was visually about 1 centimeter dilated. Before that point, I had been about a dimple, they said. Like, I was starting to thin, but I wasn't dilating yet. They didn't give me any effacement, obviously, because she couldn't feel. She didn't want to check me since I was so early still. She didn't want to cause anything. But a few days later, I was in the hospital for decreased fetal movement. That, and I was having a lot of contractions because I had stopped the nifedipine. So I went to the hospital mainly for the fetal movement, but also the contractions were concerning me because they were different than I had in the past. And he was non-reactive on his NST, which kind of was worrisome. He hadn't really been responsive on them the entire pregnancy, and it was starting to really worry me. So at the hospital, they were going to do a BPP, the biophysical profile, on him to see, you know, make sure he was doing okay and he wasn't stressed. And as they were waiting for that, she checked me because I was having a lot of contractions, about 2.5 minutes apart at that point. And I was 3 centimeters and 50% effaced at that point. I haven't been checked since. So that was right at the beginning of the 36-week mark, and I haven't been checked since. I'm gonna get checked again tomorrow at my appointment. But once she checked me, he started moving like crazy. So they were like, and the NST looked better. He was actually responsive on it. So they said that there's a possibility the cord is around his neck. And so 2 days later, I went to my midwife. They did an ultrasound. They did the BPP because he still wasn't moving much after they had, poked his head. And so he failed the NST, and she actually sent me to the hospital to get the BPP because at my office, the ultrasound tech is only in on Wednesdays. So, and this was, I think, like Tuesday or Monday or something. I think it was Monday. And so she sent me in to the hospital, and again, non-reactive on the NST, but on the BPP, he got perfect. He got an 8 out of 8, and it did take him a while to do a couple of the things, but it was in the 30-minute time range, just barely. So it was fine, but she did want to do another on that Wednesday, since he was still non-reactive on the NST. So we got around to that, and he actually got a 6 out of 8 on the BPP at the office on that Wednesday. He wasn't doing his practice breaths, and the cord was around his neck just once, which I guess isn't a big concern. Still concerns me, but she told me just to keep an eye on his movements, and he should be fine. He's getting oxygen from the umbilical cord, and it's not tightly around his neck. It's just loosely wrapped. So, trusting her. I'm still feeling him move. He's been moving a lot better since then. I do have another BPP tomorrow to see, and with that, if he fails again, if he gets 6 out of 8, if he gets worse, especially, and is non-reactive on the NST, they are probably going to just go ahead and induce me. I'm 38 weeks. I'll be 38 and a half weeks at that point. And I do have bicornuate uterus, which they think could be part of it. They think he could be running out of room and getting a little in distress. She also noticed a couple spots on my placenta that could lead to it getting calcified already, which would mean that, they could have possibly determined my due date wrong. I could actually be farther along than they're thinking. It's just, you never know. But if it is calcifying, then he won't be able to get as good of nutrition as if it wasn't. So, and also the fact that I have bicornuate uterus, the rate of stillbirth goes up higher and higher after 39 weeks. And so from the beginning, I've been kind of, I've been really worried about that. I have 2 videos coming up. If I don't end up getting induced, I'm going to start doing natural ways of induction, at home, different ways that you can kind of speed things along at home. And I will be doing that video along with a nursery tour, which the nursery tour should be coming out soon. There's like 2 little minor touches we still have. I'm going to go ahead and show you my belly, and this video is so long. I am so sorry, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can get more updates, especially on when this little guy is born. Show you my belly. This is my 38-week belly. I am getting so big, and my belly button's starting to pop out. I have such terrible stretch marks. If I wasn't wearing a dress, I would actually show you guys my real belly. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.